Good evening, everybody. It's Sunday. What is it? Sunday, January 4th, 2026, and a new year here. This is Bill Bostic with Linglestown Gazette. On my right is my producer, Joe Gilloway, back in the seat again. Joe, welcome to have you. Good to have you back.
Hi, Bill.
Yep, and welcome to 2026. So we have a big show lined up tonight. Before we get into all that, I do want to acknowledge our sponsor, and that is we've been sponsored here for a few weeks by Blue Line Pools and Outdoor Living. And we do have a picture there. We can pop that up. I got it. There we go. Blue Line Pool and Outdoor Living. They have their office just outside the old village of Linglestown on Blue Mountain. North Blue. What is it? North Mountain Road. That's what I'm trying to say, Joe. And we've shown pictures in the past. We don't have them tonight, but you can see in front of you. That's one of their jobs they did with the pool and the steps and the beautiful hardscaping. And
that's very nice.
Yeah, and this is with it being winter, this is the time of year to get a hold of Jason Myers at Blue Line, and he'll talk you through your project, take a look at the options, and do whatever he can to help you out. And he has experts in the field building this stuff. So we appreciate his help. Blue Line Pool and Outdoor Living. So what we're going to do tonight's a standard thing. We're going to bring in another co-host to do our icebreaker. We have a number of new news items. See if we can do that, Joe, the new news intro. And then our featured story, two quick things. 2005 look back, which we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. I want to move on to 26. And then 5 must-do items that the township has to do in 2026 So
that sounds interesting.
Yeah, we'll see what we come up with. And, you've been following everything, so you can jump in whenever. Let's bring Anthony Cristillo in. You want me to do it, Joe? There we go.
I got her done.
Happy New Year.
Anthony from Colonial Park coming in loud and clear.
Happy New Year, Bill.
Well, Tim, we'll make this short because I know you want to head off to bed.
Yeah, I'm almost there.
What time is it in Italy?
It's 2 a.m.
We might have some of those people. So what's on your mind tonight? Do you have anything? I may have a couple of things we could talk about.
No, go ahead. You go ahead. The one thing we talked about the other day was the whole Happy New Year's. Remember we were talking about that? It's Happy New Year.
Well, how was your holidays? Let's start there. How was your holidays?
Great. Granddaughters it's all about them.
Yeah, in my house, it's about my granddaughter too, Remy. She gets all the attention.
Yeah.
Although I'll have to give credit where credit's due. My daughter got me 2 items which were perfect. One, it says support. There's a T-shirt. Support local journalism.
Oh, it's great.
So I'm just going to get that shirt on, go down to the square with a some sort of bucket, and say, give me some money.
Stand at the roundabout.
Yeah, exactly. If you go through the roundabout, you have to give me some sense. And she also got me a book on journalism about how the decimation of local news, and that's all what we're all about.
She got you the 2 perfect gifts for you. That's awesome.
She did. And
my granddaughters made me a picture, and each of them made me a picture. I have them hanging in my office, so I'm happy.
You have 2 offices. Which office is it in?
Over in West Hanover.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, the other thing I wanted, we were going to talk about food. Technical difficulties got in the way, but we still can talk about food. Okay. Anthony, I went on a hike with my wife and dog on Blue Mountain over in Cumberland County. On the way back, I wanted to get a cheap bottle of wine, and I'll show you what I got. You might want to come over and get some of this.
Is it okay?
Outside. I got an $8 bottle of wine at Wegmans.
Sounds about right.
And I bought Wegmans brand ice cream too.
Boy, I tell you, you're living high. I really don't understand why your wife doesn't want to go anywhere with you.
Well, we like to go to the Sheets. That's really where we spend most of our time out there. But what do you think about Wegmans? I mean, to me, it looked like a great grocery store.
My son and his wife go all the time. They go every Sunday. I've never been there.
Really?
No, I've never gone.
You should try that out because it is different than Weiss and Giant.
I'm not allowed to go grocery shopping. My
Okay.
wife, yeah, I'm not allowed.
Well, that
If I'm gonna
probably.
eat, I go to Gabriella's. That's it. That's
Did you eat there tonight?
no. We make dinner Sundays at home and sometimes Mondays. But yeah, she made fettuccine alfredo and homemade garlic bread and some salad tonight.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think, but I'm sure we have some new listeners tonight. The one promo I did, unlike my promo didn't do as well as yours, but I think we have some new watchers tonight.
Okay.
You do have a featured drink at Gabriella's.
The Fat Man. It's a tequila, mezcal, lime juice. I sent you the recipe.
Yeah.
Just get it. Ask for the Fat Man. Just get that drink. You'll love it. You can't stop at one.
How many do you have when you get a Fat Man?
No, only two. Two's
Oh,
my max. Yeah. Yep, that's it.
So anything else?
No, what's your New Year's resolution, Bill?
I usually don't make them, but I was thinking about it because I know you had talked about resolutions. I think my resolution is to follow through and do what I said I want to do. Now I'm going to be retiring from my job, stopping the paid job thing within days. So I have a little bit more time to throw at Linglestown Gazette.
I'm taking you to Gabriella's for your retirement dinner.
Okay, that'd be good.
I'm going to do that.
Well, I'll give you the date.
Don't wear that hat. Please don't wear that hat.
I have people who watch this and say, don't get rid of the hat. That's my trademark.
No, it looks good on you.
Yeah, I don't know what date it's going to be. It could be this week. I don't know. I have a meeting
Whenever.
I have to go through.
You tell me when you want to go to dinner and I'm taking you.
Okay.
You said you've never been there. I'm taking you.
But my resolution is to complete the project of being able to cover all 7 municipalities in Central Dauphin School District, provide local news to all of them.
Okay.
And the big challenge is going to be finding people to help out in other communities.
Volunteers.
Yeah, and I think that the key thing people have to understand is they don't have to write stories. We'll show them. Maybe it's so easy to be part of our crew and get involved in something, help your community out, have some socialize with the people that are working with us, have events. I'm sure we're going to go out to Royal Winery 1 or 2 times through the next year, maybe 3 times, Anthony.
Yeah, you didn't you say you're using the room out there? That's your meeting spot?
Yeah, we're going to work with Royal Winery, help them promote what they're doing. Because
are they open?
They're open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I believe.
Okay.
They have winter hours now.
So I have a New Year's resolution.
Okay, what's yours?
I was pretty obnoxious in 25.
And you were? Well, I didn't know this, Anthony.
Yeah, you see, so I am going to be probably just as or even more obnoxious in 26. That's my resolution.
Well, you'll have plenty of fodder because we have the 2026 election coming up. You're going to be hot and heavy on that.
I cannot wait. I'm ready.
Okay,
tomorrow night's a big night in the township, right?
That is right. Tomorrow night.
But there's nothing on the agenda. They're just going to swear him in.
Well,
there is
one thing I'm going to talk about in the featured story, but the one thing I think you said about the township supervisors, all 4 new ones plus Pamela Thompson. What did you have to say about them as far as what we need to do?
No, listen. I'm not happy with the results, but we got to give them a chance. Okay, it's not who I wanted in, but I was a little rough on a couple of them, but that's just the way it goes. But we got to give them a shot. But we're hearing that they already have the chairwoman picked, so already they're doing stuff behind the scenes. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, we'll know in about 23 hours.
Sure, yeah.
And
they already have Pamela picked, but we'll see.
Are you coming to the meeting?
No, I'm busy.
Well, I'll be there representing you, I guess, as a journalist.
Yeah, but we got to give them a shot, right? We hope they do a good job for the township's sake.
That is the hope, and I think all 8 candidates that was in that election were all good people. So I mean, we had.
Yeah.
I mean, not very many places around Pennsylvania do you have a selection when it comes to local government offices. Usually, it's no competition, no one to pick from other than the one person on the ballot.
So if you're retiring this week, why don't you come up to the site? It's going to be in the 40s, maybe 50 midweek, and I'll show you the sights and sounds up there.
Well, you want me to do a video?
No, I'll just show you the edge where we push over.
That's why you call it River View. You entice people over
Well,
to
you
the
see
edge.
that view. You saw it, right?
Yeah, I
said
saw it.
You saw the view.
Anthony, thanks for stopping by.
All right.
And
See
give
ya.
a plug.
Happy
Give
New
a
Year.
plug to your dirt business before you
Riverview
go.
Cleanfield, 73 Woodland Road, Halifax. For anybody in the construction, landscape, tree service, call us for dumping fees, and then we resell our crushed concrete, stone, and clean field dirt. Yeah, give us a shout.
And I want to thank you for being a longtime supporter of me and Linglestown Gazette. So
it's a great thing you're doing. You know, I'm all behind you 100%.
thank you, Anthony. We'll see you next week. There we go. Hey, there we are, Joe. The icebreaker. We got through it.
Yes, we did.
And let's see. I think we're going to roll into new news.
Okay, new news.
New news. We don't have a sponsor. With that, that's just the new news in our next segment, our final segment of the evening. We still need a sponsor. So if anyone's interested, you can get in contact with me. My phone number, email address, everything is out there for the world to see on Linglestown Gazette's Facebook page. New news for those who are new to the show. It's just some hopefully quick but different items that we pick up throughout the week. Not a lot going on anywhere over the holiday weekend, but I did pick up holiday week, I guess we'll say. I did pick up some things. Without a doubt, Joe, the big story this week was the roundabout smash up that we had on early New Year's Day. That got a lot of attention. So you read the coverage. I think you
good coverage.
Got involved in the comments a little bit.
Because I like roundabouts. I think they're useful. I think they create safer traffic flow. Safer traffic flow. They slow down the traffic flow. And then, of course, people stepped in there and said, "That's what happens when you have roundabouts."
Without knowing anything about what happened.
Exactly. And really, what could happen with a situation like that is that person could have run through a red light had it been a traffic signal there and T-boned or, somehow collided into a car. But that wasn't possible under those conditions with the roundabout.
I figured out with all the commentary that came through and the other reporting done by TV stations that the accident had happened somewhere around 4:00 in the morning on New Year's Day. So there probably wasn't much traffic. But one of the things I think it's important to share about this story is how the story came together, the journalism part of it, in that I didn't know anything about this until Kirby Lentz, gave me a call late in the morning on New Year's Day and asking me what's going on in the square.
Kirby, sorry to interrupt, but Kirby was surprised that you didn't know about it yet.
Yeah, well, I was 3 blocks away from it. 4:00 in the morning. I don't think the sound made it over here. People in the square heard it, but not where I live, just out over by Coons Park. And then I got it quickly right after Kirby, another Karen Catabiani, who I work with, lives in Blue Meadow Farms.
Catabiani. I like that name, Catabiani. Yeah. It just flows. It just rolls. Catabiani.
It is a great name.
It is a great name.
So I was going up to our first day hike. We'll talk about that in just a second. I've got to write that down. Took some pictures, and so all I'm looking at is the only signs of the accident. There were some garbage from the accident laying around a little bit, but the bumper cover was on the island in the vegetative area, and three signs were smashed right to the ground. And then you could see the tracks of the car going right through the roundabout. It was like they were going straight up through the town towards Hershey. That's where it started. There's not a lot of information there. However, I could tell that he was heading east, right? Because the bumper, was right there on the west side of the island. So you knew that. You knew he was going very, very fast because, like I said, the signs were just smashed right to the ground. And a bumper cover is going to require a major hit to come off. If you're going 15, 20, 25 miles an hour through there, you're not going to get that damage. That's where it started. And then over the course of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even this morning, new information kept coming in from various sources. The TV stations, 3 of them that were out there, 21, 27, and 8, all their reporters added something to the story from my perspective. New things I picked up, quotes from neighbors, things like that. And then the tow truck driver in the comments of Linglestown Gazette was very, very helpful. His name is Dusty Dingman. He owns Digman's Towing on Route 22, right by the Sandwich Man. He provided pretty much a play-by-play of what happened, 4:30, 4:45 in the morning on New Year's Day. So hopefully by tomorrow evening, I'll have it all packaged up and put it out there so that it's not piecemeal. Everyone will have a complete story from beginning to end, what happened. I think a pretty good representation. The only thing I have to find out is what kind of, as far as the police involvement, what kind of offenses this young man is going to be facing.
Well, I heard what you guys were discussing about, what the outcome for him might be. And I don't think you lock him up and throw away. First of all, in situations like that, quite often the driver was driving under the influence. Okay.
And that isn't the case here, by the way.
So they did find him like within a couple hours and
no, actually what happened, when he went through the roundabout and got over in the area of Eagles, he somehow made a quick right turn and headed down North Mountain Road and only got to about the car wash area, and his car quit because it ran, it seized up because the oil had drained out of the engine.
Okay.
And I think because the neighbors, like I said, there was a couple actually standing out there smoking at 4:00 in the morning. I believe one of the neighbors must have called the police. So they were on scene pretty quickly. And then the police and the county called in the tow truck to get the vehicle out of the road.
But what caused him, what motivated him not to stop though?
Well, the only thing I have on that, Joe, is that the tow truck driver who interacted with this young man said he was really upset. He was just trying to get out of there, I guess. Hopefully,
I say give him a reckless driving and fleeing the scene and make him pay for all the repairs.
Yeah.
Okay, which is not lock him up and throw away the key. There has to be a price to pay for something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. So I'm actually going to email the police department after we're done here. But related to this whole thing, related issue is quite a few people started saying, you don't have a camera? You don't have any cameras in the square? What's going on? You're a big township. You should have cameras so you can find out what happened. You shouldn't take 4 days to figure it out. Like I had to take 4 days to figure out exactly what happened and the timing. And I had brought that up. I think we brought it up when we actually talked. We talked to 3 PennDOT people on this and that, the podcast.
It would incur a considerable cost to the taxpayers.
Yeah, well, I had in my brain that maybe PennDOT would do it, but Fritzy, her first name is Fritzy. She's a spokesperson for PennDOT, was interacting with people on I think it's Scheffler or something like that. Fritzy was interacting with people in the comments and said that I made a bad comment there because PennDOT would not put any cameras up in a square like that. That would be for the local police department to do. PennDOT does have cameras, as you know, out in the highway, out in the interstates and all that, but not in a little town. That's for outside their responsibility. So it would be up to Lower Paxton Township to do it if they wanted to use that for enforcement.
Has there ever been one situation over the years since this, before the roundabout, where a camera would have made things a lot better?
To me, the only thing would be when these tractor trailers come through here and beat up mess up the cement or knock down the signs or whatever.
Okay. Fair enough.
That might help out.
You could at least have a camera that's kind of down low and gets the right where the license plate would be. Yeah, you wouldn't have to.
Well, possibly. But here's what I recently met up with a supporter. His name is Scott Silverstein. I met him at the coffee shop. Good friends with him. He's actually helped me. The logo we have right now, the LG in the blues triangle. He took me to a little talk down in Harrisburg where a successful blogger at the time was giving some tips. And based on listening to her, that's where that logo came from. So Scott got me there. So he was listening to an update on what I'm doing. And he said, we should be able to figure out a way to put a traffic cam, in the square, for with Linglestown Gazette being behind it. Right. I did some checking, and it certainly is possible. If we get a sponsor or two, we also would need someone in the square who has I guess all the buildings there are multiple stories, that someone would have a window we could use to mount it inside, because when you put it outside, you have rain, snow, and
you need a really good camera.
Yeah. To do the cheap one, we need someone to give us some space on their windowsill.
Right.
And electricity and internet line. So, I mean, it's not impossible. We're going to look into it.
Runs on a loop, basically, like a security camera, right? Like just keeps.
Well, I guess, if you've watched TV weather, they have it trained on a certain section of town. That's what you'd be seeing, a live look at the square. It may not be as good as what you see on TV, but it'll at least be something. I don't know if it would help him with enforcement or not, but I think it'd be a cool thing to do. So I'm going to work with Scott. We'll see what we can come up with. I did some searching with AI, and there are some lower cost ways of doing it. I think the bigger thing is finding a location for it. So we'll see. We'll get information out about that once we tie down what we actually need. So that's that. Also, one other thing about Linglestown Gazette, I ran into a little bit of a problem with this roundabout crash thing, is that since I restarted Linglestown Gazette back last winter, I've been doing a lot of sharing of information that shows up on Linglestown Gazette with a couple pages, Linglestown Neighbors, and I think there's another page that has community in it, Lower Paxton Township Community or something like that.
That sounds right.
Okay. And what happens is when I post something on Linglestown Gazette and then down the line edit, make some changes or whatever, it doesn't show up on the other pages. They don't change whenever I change something on Linglestown Gazette.
Surprising. Yeah. Typically
it doesn't work that way.
Expect that it would. Yeah.
And with the news business, things change, like I was mentioning earlier with Anthony and somewhat with you, Joe, this story was evolving over days. New information was coming in. So something I wrote 25 hours ago may be slightly wrong. And one gentleman got in my face about that I wrote a confusing story when I updated.
Got in your face,
got in my grill.
Or your online face.
Yes. I was trying to just tell him it's a developing story.
Because I'm thinking, if he really got in your face, Bill, you have to call me because you're my friend, and I'm going to be there in 10 minutes, no matter where you are. All right.
Well, his name is Anthony. You might be able to
see. I've had your back too online, also.
Yeah.
I don't let people bully you.
So I'm not going to share anymore with these pages. So if someone looks at it and wants to share it with another page, fine. But I'm not going to do it because it doesn't keep up as things change whenever we have a story.
Right.
So the last little bit on new news, Joe, Central Dauphin School District news. I just picked it up an hour ago. The the construction on the kindergarten centers is underway. And the school district, based on their spokeswoman, Sharon Lieb,
Live.
Lieb, is that how she says it? Yeah, Lieb. She's been with the school district a long time. They're going to have informational sessions to be scheduled in January and February for people with that will impact, I guess, people with kindergarten age kids next year.
We are at the not that we've never been at the precipice, but we're at an important juncture in Central Dauphin School District, Bill. And there's just so much going on with innovation, with AI, with new kindergarten, with non-English speaking language or multi-language students.
Right.
Just so much going on with special needs children, students, and with just the influx of people moving into the area, the district. This is an important time for our district, for our school board. We have a good, strong school board, I think. And I have there's no end to what I'm saying. That's just all I wanted to say is, and if anybody wants to get involved in any way, watch the meetings online. And I'm not encouraging you to take any sides but it's just, please care about your school district in your community is all I'm saying.
Yeah. And the one thing we didn't mention, we have this brewing plan for 770 homes.
Absolutely. There's another one.
Wenrick Street.
Charter school, siphoning money from the from the taxpayers.
Yeah.
That could be viewed as a I don't know, ill-informed or rude comment, but that's the way I see it, at least to a degree.
Who was siphoning money?
Well, it's expensive. Charter schools.
Oh, charter schools. Okay.
Yeah, are expensive for the taxpayer. And it's just something I know they're taking a look at it,
Yeah, folks, you're listening to and watching Linglestown Gazette live. We do it every Sunday at 8:00, and we're presented by Blue Line Pools and Outdoor Living, based here in Linglestown. Jason Myers, nice enough to support us, and I appreciate all his help. And that pretty much does it for new news for this week. And we're going to roll right into our feature story, two-part. We're going to look back at 2025 very quickly, and then move into identifying some things that would be great if the township would do. Actually, something starting tomorrow night that we're going to talk about at the organizational meeting. As far as a look back, Joe, I mean, I'm ready to move into 2026 after what we experienced last year, especially early in the year. How about you?
I'm looking forward to better health and great relationships with my loved ones, and I'm excited.
Yeah, when I was talking about moving on, I was talking about all the how you want to describe it, all the hubbub, all the problems, all the controversies, the finger pointing, and all that went on early last year within the township meetings and all that. Which pretty much, I'm sure it was history making when we had over the course of short time, 4 supervisors resign. And then a tumultuous time trying to fill those seats. We had to have the vacancy board, the probably never used vacancy board, brought in to help pick a replacement a couple times. But in the end, I think things ended on a high note with the supervisors board that we had, the 4 interims, and second year supervisor Pamela Thompson. I think over the course of the second half of the year, they made great strides in getting things leveled out. Yep. Washing away all the infighting and different things that was happening at the meetings, and hopefully that'll continue into 2026.
I ran into Jill Vecchio a few days ago at the grocery store.
All right.
I thanked her for her service, and I'm just agreeing with you that the 5 supervisors, and this is with respect to the ones that left too. Okay, I'm sure they had their reasons, but we know that there was quite a mess going on there. But I just said that I think you guys all did a great job, kind of carrying things over from where it was to leaving it where it is today, and I just think that they all really served us well there for what, half a year, basically, from
Yeah,
last
I'm not
December
yeah.
until maybe a year, close to a year.
It took them a little while to get started, but once
Yeah,
Laura Kurtz took over, she helped run good meetings.
fabulous chair.
Yeah, I got to take a quick drink here, and then a couple other notes about 25.
So I saw. What are you going to do with that $8? Listen, there's nothing wrong with $8 wine from, what's it called?
Got it at Wegmans.
Wegmans. That's probably not bad wine.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not.
Don't let prices fool you with wine.
Yeah, wine's a tricky thing. I mean, you can spend $30, $40, $50 and up for a bottle.
And Wegmans. Not that Wegmans is a quality store, quality supermarket, and I'm sure that they know how to buy wine. So yeah, if you got a bottle of wine for $8 and you enjoy it, then it's a great deal. What are you going to do with that? You and the wife going to have a romantic?
Well, no, my wife's not really into it. I don't want to drink a beer because that's too much to drink in the evening before going to bed. So you can get a little glass of wine,
a little half a glass maybe.
Yeah, and what was in my mind, I was sort of celebrating the fact I'm going to be retiring.
You're romanticizing, Bill. That's what they call that, right?
Yeah, but the other big
fair enough. That's good. You should be romanticizing, man. You've been working for a long time.
Yeah, 25 years for this.
We have to go back out and play golf sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. I got back into it this past fall.
I owe you one. You beat us all last time.
So
Blue Ridge Country Club. Go ahead.
The one thing I think we got before we move on to 26 for 25, the township made a giant change. I think a positive one. I know not everyone agrees with that, but going into the business of hiring some firefighters and filling out the complement of our needs so we get better coverage. That got started with hiring of 8 new firefighters in 2025. And I did have a chance to do some video work with them. I haven't had a chance to produce it and get it out there, but there are signs that as far as the professionals working with the volunteers, at least in Colonial Park Fire Company where I was at, volunteer fire company, I think things are going okay. We're going to be hiring 12 more in 2026 to get it up to 20. And that'll, as I understand it, will put us in a position to get 24-hour coverage out of our fire services, the three stations we have.
Meaning they would be in the station somebody will be in there for 24 hours. They won't have to get out of bed at 3 a.m, right?
Well, yeah, there will be at least a skeleton crew so they can make a fire truck roll. They have to get up to 3 people.
Good.
So that's a big move. Again, there's some people that aren't happy with that, but
why wouldn't they be happy with that, Bill?
Because it's the tradition has been volunteers, a long standing tradition back into the 20s and 30s. That's how it's been done. And the concern is when you start hiring professionals to come in, then eventually it's going to evolve where it's going to be all professional. I mean, that's what's going through their mind, because the volunteers may not be as motivated to jump out of bed at 2:00 in the morning because they know.
Are these people that would be willing to volunteer themselves?
Well, the one gentleman,
the people that didn't like it, that are complaining.
I'm not hearing this from wide. Not that I'm around enough to even hear it, but I'm hearing it from a gentleman that's put a lot of years into a fire company, and he just doesn't want to see this happen where the volunteers get minimized somehow, and eventually they just drop away.
Okay.
And I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I haven't done enough work to really know, but all signs are that at least it's going fairly well right now in the early stages of it.
Good.
So that was a big change. Any other things that pop into your mind from 25 that you can think of? It was sort of dominated by all the controversy. I mean, that really
it was dominated by the roundabout.
Oh yeah, roundabout. Yeah.
The board of supervisors, just the news of the upcoming Wenrick Street development, which will not be called Wenrick Street development, but we call it that. It was kind of from our perspective, from our end, it was dominated by those 3 things. I think that's what we kind of talked about a lot,
Yeah, and the other thing is, I think I'm not, and by no means I'm not blowing my horn because there's people other than me doing behind the scenes working, and one reporter, volunteer reporter, Linda Spots. The return of some level of journalism to the township is a big move too,
Absolutely.
because many towns don't. Well, we haven't had an ongoing service. I mean, I've tried this 3 other times, so there's little spots where I was doing some, but we haven't had a full-time reporter looking at the school district and the township for almost a quarter century. Patriot News used to have someone, this was their beat, the township and the school district.
That's a major problem, Bill.
It is.
I mean, it really, and I'm not just saying that to support what you're saying, I'm just saying that because that is a major problem with a municipality the size of Lower Paxton Township, somewhere between the 12th and the 14th largest in the state, that we are not represented in our both of our township meetings and our school board meetings by some level of journalism is almost scary.
Yeah, and it's happening across the country. I mean,
Yeah.
it's this. We're not unique in this. So hopefully we can be a model. We can show other people how to do it. We still have some work to do there. But looking ahead to 2026, Joe, I've come up with 5 things.
I'm excited for this.
All right. Now, the first one, I'm going to have to put a disclaimer. I'm just going to give my view on one thing. And some people may not like it. That's fine. I'm going to say it the way I feel and think.
What kind of order are these going to be in?
Well, what do you
Want
mean?
to go 5 through 1? Is there any importance?
No, I don't have any importance. Although I think the first one's probably the key one for the short term.
Okay.
And that's tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at 7:00 at the Township Building on Prince Street. I think it's 400 block, I believe. Township Building. They're going to have their reorganizational meeting for the township supervisors. The first meeting of the year. 4 new people will be installed or take the oath of office. And the 5th one's Pamela Thompson. She's starting her 3rd year. And I do have a picture, I think. Yes, I do, of all I'll click it. This is the new supervisors board right here.
Nice looking crew.
Yeah, that was from last summer after they got their election ticket in place. Starting from the left, that's Dr. Charles Stewart. And then in the black dress is Robin Lindsay, who's making her 2nd stint on the board. In the middle is Kate Scheib, who has served other municipalities up in the Sunbury area in some capacities. Pamela Thompson, and then John O. Campbell. I'm having a problem.
No, that's middle initial O. Mm-hmm. That's not O apostrophe Campbell.
Yeah, whenever we first...
For those at home, I know you know that, Bill.
Yeah, that's his middle initial. The reason I think why he does that, potentially, I hadn't asked him about this, but if you put John Campbell, like Harrisburg,
right?
There's a John Campbell that served in some capacity with the city of Harrisburg, and he got in trouble of some kind.
Yeah, you don't want to be misconstrued as some convicted felon,
In fact, someone got in our grill about, because we weren't aware of that, and I was mentioning on our show that this guy, the only John Campbell I can find was someone who got in trouble at Harrisburg.
Oh boy,
you remember that?
Yeah, I do. And this John Campbell, he's not trouble.
No, he was financial services,
upstanding man. Yeah,
he's on the board of directors of different organizations.
Right,
all that kind of stuff. But the big thing I'm going to refer to is that on the agenda, 5.1, election of the chair of the board. I think that's a super important step as far as getting the right person in there.
Right.
And why do I say that? Well, they become the chairperson becomes the face of the board. They're the ones that are running the meeting. Mm-hmm. Many times, like me as a reporter, I'm going to go to the chairperson to get a comment, to find out what's going on, to get an explanation. You want to talk to them directly at certain points in time. You're going to have to deal with unhappy citizens in meetings potentially, right?
You really want to be kind of up the middle too, like kind of bipartisan, as far as you don't want to let your party show, right?
Well, yeah, I don't think, I think it's at the local level, we're not really getting into all that stuff.
Or take sides of issues that
Right.
may have some partisanship attached to them.
Right. You might have public comments that you just really don't appreciate, but you
I
gotta let
saw
the people do it.
I saw Laura Kurtz not totally agreeing with some of the things that were being said. Okay, maybe
right.
at the lectern by a member of the community, or and boy, was she ever
Well,
good.
another supervisor. She didn't.
Or that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
That may be something that another. And boy, did she ever rise above. And that's important, I think, for a chair.
Yeah, and when she did rebut, she came in with facts. You know, here's
Yeah.
here's what it is. She wasn't arguing with them
Right,
for
right.
argument's sake. So
Yeah. Yep.
So as I look across this board, I mean, if I were based on what I know, I mean, I would like to see John O. Campbell be the chairperson, because I think he has the most experience in these kinds of scenarios as far as organizations, and he speaks very well when he gets up and talks at the meetings in public comment.
Yeah, you should be articulate. You should be able to articulate at a higher than average level. That's for sure.
And he's been very positive from day one with his interactions. So I think he's the most level-headed person, would be a good person to be the chairperson. That's my pick if I had to do it with this particular group. Now, Anthony mentioned, and it's true, I've heard a number of different places saying that Pamela Thompson's already been penciled in, but we'll see tomorrow night. But if any of the supervisors are listening or watching, I mean, that the list I handed out, I think that's a good list to run someone through as far as the qualities you want to see.
Right.
So,
yep.
That's going to be a very, very important thing tomorrow night. And as I'll second what Anthony said in the icebreaker, that we, as a group, as a community, this is a big change. You know, again, I don't like to talk Republican, Democrat, but I mean, this township's been run for over a century, apparently, by Republicans. And now we have we're going from that kind of environment to an all Democrat board,
right.
Democratic board. So, I mean, this is a huge change if you look at it from that perspective. And it's a brand new group. Usually you don't have 4 people coming in at one time, you know, and being, you know, start like this, but with everything that happened last year, that's what we're going to see tomorrow night. But we have to give them a chance to get their legs underneath them and maybe get some training through a state association of Board of Supervisors. They'll help them out and see what happens. So that was the big one. Now, the next one, Joe, is one we talked about before. I think because of tax situations, because of the property I'm going to talk about here, the redevelopment of Colonial Park Mall has to be right up there at the top as far as something that needs to get some attention. And this past week, you may have seen on Linglestown Gazette, Facebook, myself and my 7-year-old granddaughter, we went over to Capital City Mall.
I did see that.
Yeah, I haven't been there for probably over a decade. And I grew up in Dillsburg, which is about 15 minutes maybe away from the mall. So that was the go-to mall back in the 70s and the 80s. And I was flabbergasted at what I saw. I mean, this was on Friday, I think. I mean, the day after, what it would have been the day after New Year's Day. I mean, the place was packed in the afternoon, and almost all of the spaces are filled. I mean, it's clean. It's been upgraded. I mean,
good anchor stores, anchor businesses.
Yeah, I think it's Macy's or Bontown, something. I don't know. Not Bontown, because they're not around anymore.
You can walk right into Dave and Buster's from the mall or from outside in the parking lot.
Yeah, they have a bunch. I put pictures up of some stores I never even heard of before, but here's the thing. Now, I don't know about the mall, but across the street, there's some great things happening. That used to be Pomeroy's, and then I guess eventually it became Bonton. on the other side of Route 15
Yes.
was a multi-level store. And when Bonton went out of business, left Lower Allen Township, and they formed a economic development authority, some sort of development authority. And that's what Laura Kurtz, our prior chairwoman, was talking to the township about last year. And that's the kind of business she's in.
Mm-hmm.
So they have, it's like a shopping plaza now, including Trader Joe's and other things that are, that's filled up as well. And then you have the mall that's doing very well. So those things don't happen by chance. They took the time to actually put together a development authority to raise some money and try and encourage businesses to come in. And also they go out in the marketplace and promote, in this case, Lower Allen Township as a place that you may want to locate. I mean, if someone's out there saying, waving, hey, look here, we have this site that's available. We're going to redevelop it. And they were successful. What do we have going on here in Lower Paxton now?
Not that.
We have nothing.
Nothing.
Because this year, they don't have money devoted to low economic development.
I think
in the budget.
defunded it, right? I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
From what I saw a couple meetings ago, they were showing where some of the money was going to be going, and that was something that was defunded, basically.
Yeah, zeroed out the budget.
Okay.
And I think the thinking was that they were hoping they would win the election, and then they would work with Laura and form an authority here to do that kind of promotion. So now it's going to be up to the new board.
It's very important what you're talking about.
And why?
You can't just sit around and wait for somebody to drive by the mall and go, oh, I got $10 million or whatever it is. I don't know how much that mall would cost. That's not going to happen, in the real world.
Right. That's an issue. But another issue is if something doesn't happen and the current owner says, forget this, walks away from it, malls can start to deteriorate. And beyond that, they're not paying their taxes to Lower Paxton Township or the school district.
Right. They'll just say, sue me.
Now, this current owner is actively working on opening up a trampoline park, and not just an everyday trampoline park. This is going to be like a fantastic facility. I've seen some pictures, and there's I've gotten a security guard there told me they're going to be putting in a bowling alley. Now I haven't, a bowling center, I guess we'll call it. They probably don't call them alleys anymore. But anyways, I have to verify that, but that may be coming too. So he's putting money into it. We need to talk to him and find out what his plan is for that mall. Or if he's just going to do those two things and sort of let the less, hopefully fill up.
Do you know how to get a hold of him?
I think I can piece it together.
I am prepared to, as you know, I took a little time off from doing the This and That, the podcasts, just because it was the holidays and I had a pretty major surgery about a month ago. But
right.
I'm ready to start scheduling some podcasts. I'd love to have that person or somebody from his camp. It wouldn't have to be the owner, but somebody that could represent him and have all the facts. So yeah, if you're able to do that, Bill.
Yeah, I did. I'm actually cleaning up my office. I'm making some progress, and I have
Good.
notes. I interacted with the mall manager back in the summer. Almost got kicked out of the mall because he thought I was bringing dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of people in one night for a what do we call those pop-up newsroom?
Yeah,
I had 8 people there. I had to convince him that we weren't going to do anything spectacular. We're just going to sit around and talk, So
how did he know you guys didn't want to shop, or was it late?
Well, yeah, but
it couldn't have been late because you usually start them around 6:30.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Well, I worked it out with him and I got contact information, so I should be able to piece it together.
Okay, good.
So the mall, a big one. Now,
just make sure he knows we're an ally of his, and we are. You constantly say good things about him and that he's keeping up to his end of the bargain and all that. So that's going to make it a little easier.
Sure, the mall is clean.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I promoted Santa Claus. My granddaughter.
You did promote.
So
Santa Claus.
he made a comment thanking the Linglestown Gazette for doing
Good.
that.
Good.
The number 3 thing out of the 5, Hodges Heights. Hodges Heights has been talked about all of 2025. Robin Lindsay made it a campaign issue, saying that, basically scolding the supervisors that they didn't take action, a little more defined action, even though the interim supervisors were actively working on that, getting some studies done, trying to figure out how to change around the compost facility. For those of you who aren't familiar, this is a development that's been there a long, long time. It's in the south part of the township, just south of Union Deposit Road, in an area that, unfortunately, I think when that development went in, a portion of the property nearby was a landfill, and now is our township compost facility. And when the compost facility starts operating and people are dumping things there and they're grinding things up, the noise, the dust, and everything's flowing into these homes, and not too much has been done over the years. And like I said, the last set of supervisors back in 2025, the last 6 months, they were trying to get some information compiled by consultants to figure out what they could do. So they were actively working on it. And the other part of the thing is they have a playground that needs some attention, and the township's trying to gear up to do that. They have it on the schedule, but they still need to raise some money. They have some grant money, but they need additional money to be able to start that project. So I think it's going to behoove the new board to really make that a priority, Joe.
Well, that's another important. You got that's 3 now, and they're all important so far, Bill.
I have a 4th one, which is important too.
Okay.
And that is, the township, I don't know, for 20 years, maybe more, has been involved with redoing our sewer system. Actually, the technical term is sewerage.
Now, this is a sleeper to me. This is a sleeper. I'm aware of it, but I wouldn't have seen this on the list, but it's very important.
Well, yeah, the important part is, for a lot of neighborhoods, when they go out to bid, let's say a section of the township, they put their bid package together, what they need to have done and whatnot, and companies bid on it. This company out of Bucks County called Doli, D-O-L-I Construction, has won a lot of the bids because they had the low ball price, and they were deemed to be a responsible contractor. And at least in recent years, certainly in 2025, there was when we first started doing the podcast, there was people complaining at the meetings because it's been over a year that they were in their neighborhood, Dolly was, and they still hadn't completed everything, and things were ripped up for months on end. People had damage done to their property, all this kind of thing. Within the last year since I started reporting, there's just a ton of complaints and problems that have been filed with the township over what Dolly has done. So there's got to be a pile of complaints that need attention. And I'm actually working with one person, one woman on Devonshire Heights Road, that they changed things around. So now the Dolly's actually doing stormwater management stuff too. That came on board in recent years. So they're doing sewer stuff, also stormwater. And some of the stormwater projects haven't worked out very well. This woman, the water that comes off the road and other places just drains into her backyard and has nowhere to go. So she ends up with a swamp in her backyard, and nothing had been done. So we're trying to get that moved up the list. So there's just a ton of work, rehab work, fixing things up. Dolly has not done a very good job in many of these neighborhoods of taking care of things. So that's number 4 in the list. So I'll be talking to somebody at the township now. We have a new crew about the woman I'm trying to help out. So that's number 4. The next one's take the focus off the township a little bit, Joe, to finish up. And that is citizen involvement. Citizen involvement. Yeah, many people don't understand how the township works, that they're accessible, that they can talk to them, they can tell township officials, tell the township staff whenever things are coming up that aren't working for them. And to not be victims, but understand they can get involved at some level for their own behalf, or somehow become a little bit more educated of what the township's working with. For example, this Wenrick Street development and what that's all about, or Dolly, or whatever it may be. And then, but citizen involvement can also include, in today's world, if you're going to have local news, Joe, you have to have community involvement, because you're not going to have a company come in here, a publishing company, and set up shop to do news. So if we're going to cover, like I'm covering myself, the township, we don't have anyone covering the school board, but someone could, and we can make it so darn easy given today's technology. You don't have to be a reporter. You don't have to be a writer. You just have to be a citizen taking a few notes or just watching the meeting,
Right.
And coming home and talking into your phone. There's a recorder app, like a tape recorder type thing.
This is simple stuff.
Yeah. And once I find out, I get a few notes, we can put together a report, at least a basic report on what happened. It might only be 3 or 4 or 5 sentences, but at least there was someone watching. If they go to the meeting, we'll give them a press badge, make them official, so the people there that go up and sit towards the front. Let them know that the press is here. That we're watching.
Do you know how many of the sporting events, the area sporting events, are reported in Penn Live Patriot News these days, Bill?
I don't read the sports.
Okay. Well, this is more about how they're reported. And I don't think it's any different with some of the other, what would you call those? Sections of a paper. What would you call those?
Yeah,
Sections. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I'm a coach, as soon as the game ends, I take a picture of my scorebook. Okay. Take a picture of the scorebook, email it to Penn Live. Okay. Then they have writers there. As the scorebook comes in, they can write up a little 2 or 3 paragraph, probably takes them 5 minutes, 10 minutes off of the scorebook and make it look like they were there. You wouldn't know they weren't there. That's how easy it would be. We could do, that's what you're trying to accomplish here, basically, right?
Yeah. Someone will have eyes on it and give us at least a few notes on what took place.
Right.
I mean, usually in a school board meeting, or even a township meeting or a borough meeting, there's not a whole lot that goes on. I mean, certain time periods will be a lot going on, but for most cases, it's just basic business. So 1 or 2 things might pop up. You might have someone talk about something interesting during public comment, or maybe a little argument or whatever would crop up. But usually it's not that big a deal. I mean, this is just basic stuff. And if something big would happen, let's say, back in the day when I was covering the school board, I found there was a situation where the superintendent wanted to do some big program that would help us change things around for the better with the teachers. So without the public knowing, they spent money and took a contingent of people up to Boston, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it came back, and then one meeting I'm sitting there, and they say, okay, next meeting we're gonna talk about a $3 million expenditure to put this program in place. I went, whoa, wait, this never has even been discussed publicly. Something big like that would happen. Well, I would, in our case, for now, as we're set up, I would jump in and report on that. The person who's keeping an eye on it wouldn't have to deal with that, but they would tip me off that this is a big deal coming up, $3 million for a program that the teachers really don't even want, that kind of thing. So no, we're not asking anyone to be a world beater. We're just asking them to be a observer, basically.
Mm-hmm. And protect and look out for the people, for the citizenry.
Yeah. And the other
citizenry.
Yeah. We're getting ready about the time we need to quit here. But the other part of it is, if someone works with Linglestown Gazette, they're joining, let's call it a fraternity of community volunteers who we're going to get together periodically. We're going to maybe share some information that might help them do what they do, but just to get together as a group who are trying to help our community out. Go to the winery, the Royal Winery, or go to a baseball game, whatever. If someone's sitting at home and looking for something to do, especially an older person, maybe they've sort of lost their way in their retirement and they want to connect with people and get involved with their community, this is going to be a great chance, forgetting about reporting, just a chance to get out of your house or interact with people in a positive way. So that's the biggest thing I see with community involvement. Get out of your home. You don't have to even get out of your home, but just be online and figure things out and interact with people. It'll make life all the more worthwhile if you're actually doing something to help people out. So I'll get off my soapbox now about that. I think it could be a very positive thing. I'm sure you agree, Joe.
Oh, I totally agree. Absolutely.
So, any closing words? That's the 5 things.
Great 5 things, Bill.
Yeah. Just, it just comes around because you just keep an eye on things, and it all sort of spills out on Sunday night. So, for those of you who watched, I think we had a pretty good contingent of people popping in and out. Thank you do we get any comments, Joe?
Teresa Cristillo said Schaefer. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Marilyn Dowling, bye, Anthony. Happy New Year. Brittany Houston Matter. Let's go, Anthony. Your time to shine.
Okay.
And then we had a couple that I had to delete and ban the authors.
Oh, okay. All right. That's not good.
I mean, very inappropriate. Not just inappropriate to me, just very inappropriate.
Okay.
But that's the benefit of having a producer.
Exactly.
Because I watch the comments come in. So
yeah, anyway. Mine are blocked because I have the media stuff on that sidebar. So, but thanks for stopping by for Linglestown Gazette Live, sponsored by Blue Line Pools and Outdoor Living here in Linglestown, based on North Mountain Road. Joe, thanks for your help.
Yep, certainly, my pleasure. It's always fun.
And everything looks good for next Sunday. So we see you right back here Sunday, 8:00 for Linglestown Live Podcast. See you then.
Look forward to that too. Thanks, Bill.
Yep.
Have
Bye.
a great Sunday evening.